16 years old.
16 years old?
I can't do the math real quick. It's over 30 some years. Then I started pioneering at 18. As soon as I got out of high school, pioneered for got on the phone. And then I met my and we got married, and then I came to Bethel. He was already in Bethel. So I've been serving at Bethel for 28 years. And working on video services right now. I've had a variety of assignments. Currently audio video services.
Audio video.
No. I work in the office.
I know, I'm going to ask you to say
So we attend the Filipino White Plains congregations, New York, and I work in the Bethel office in Bethel for 32 years. We've been in Bethel. Saw construction and in the home.
So you look forward to moving to the new world headquarters?
Hindi. But we support.
I just
Patterson.
Okay. Thank you very much. Now we're going to ask them some questions you'd like to hear, because everybody wants to hear how everybody got into the truth. So we're going to ask them first, how did Jehovah do them in the spirit of John 6:44, where without Jehovah's approval, we won't never get closer to it in the first place? So let's start, Brother Bill.
So when I was at Kabataan, my mother, Kabataan, nanay. And so, alam ko, I knew this was the only way I would see my mother again is I draw close to Jehovah. So to me, Jehovah was real, tunay. And so it didn't make any sense to be involved with other things. I wanted to be involved lahat sa paralan and sa congregation. So from very small, my brothers, I have limang mga kapatid. And we stayed close to the church.
Thank you very much. I'm sure many of the brothers and sisters in Delegates can relate to that. They already lost their mothers and fathers. They're faithful as well. Sister Michelle?
There's also the example of my mother that was very powerful. When I was very, very small, she was baptized, but my father was very, very opposed. He did not like witnesses. They were not allowed in the home. So she had to study with us. She continued to inculcate Jehovah in our heart in secret. So
In secret?
in secret, yeah. He couldn't know that we were being studied with. But because of that and her persistence and the love of the congregation, just gently inviting him, and today he is also one of our brothers. But it was that example of my mother and her persistence in serving Jehovah even though it wasn't easy, that drew me to Jehovah. And so I've always thought of Jehovah very close as a dear friend and father of mine. So, yeah.
Thank you very much, Sister Michelle. Because we have single parents in our congregation, they'll be inspired by the example of your mother, that because of her persistence, you came into the truth. Now, the second question is, we all go through this. We have the biggest challenges, and we have the memorable blessings as well. We'd like to hear first challenges. It's something we could easily relate to. What have been the biggest challenge we have experienced? And that was Sister Michelle.
Well, I did enjoy school very much. I was the valedictorian, and when I graduated high school, I was given a 4-year scholarship to the university. But because of the example of many happy pioneers in our congregation, one of them being my sister also, it was not even a question that I refused the scholarship and began pioneering. So though it was a challenge, it was also one of the biggest blessings. And because of that, I wanted to be happy like all the other pioneers, and it did. brought great joy.
This is just a side question. Did you get to see your classmates later on? Who were valedictorian in their batch?
I don't think I ever did.
You have
No.
So did you ever regret that you gave up that opportunity?
Never once. Never once. If I had gone to university, I never would have met Philip.
Exactly.
I would never have gone to Bethel.
Exactly.
So, walang regrets. No regrets.
So we have young people here listening. So they're looking at opportunities to explore. And your experience is something.
Full-time service.
I'm very valuable. No regrets. How about blessings?
Well,
You have your challenge.
oh, I know. Marami.
Good.
Most
Glad to hear.
all the disaktado. Perfect. I'm my own biggest challenge.
Me too. I share that.
Let's talk about the blessings. Just for me, I would say, of course, my marriage as a malaki pagpapala, and then to be at Bethel for 33 years. Tamang na tatlo taon, makita ko maraming mga things, growth within the organization, maraming mga pagbabago, changes. And when you see the changes in the organization and the adjustments that are made over the years, and you're there, you're kind of in the hub of things, it's exciting. You see Jehovah's hand, his kamay, on the organization, not just the congregation, but even the individuals, how Jehovah can use people to help people and help the organization. So we do little things, but all together, it brings a great shout of praise to Jehovah. Like this gathering, what a great shout of praise you are. This congregation, San Andres congregation, wow. You please Jehovah God, and I'm pretty happy too.
Thank you very much for that. And anything you want to say about the special arrangement? The feedback that you have going through this privilege?
Well, it has widened our tent pins and shrunk the world all at the same time. It's beautiful.
Beautiful illustration.
We pretty much, from the very beginning, saw immediately the arrangements being made on mga ka-ayusan, because from the very beginning, the brothers were in contact with us to arrange everything we could possibly be concerned about to come to the Philippines. We're not traveling very often, but this was very easy, and it's been very warm. So I think that the things we saw from this arrangement, it draws us closer to Jehovah, because He's a happy God. He made the Filipino people, and they're a happy people. So maraming salamat.
Thank you very much.
Well, we're from the Greensboro congregation in North Carolina. We've been there for 13 years. We lived in Florida for 10 years, Orlando, Florida. We got the truth in New York. She's actually from New York, I'm from New Jersey. Y'all know about that Spanish theater. That's where she lived at in Jersey City. And I lived in New York most of my life. So, anything else?
Thank you very much. They're from North Carolina.
Greensboro, North Carolina.
Greensboro Congregation, North Carolina. Now, if you've heard the first couple talk about Jehovah being the key to finding each other, we have the same story here with Brother Nelson and Sister Joy. So first we're going to ask them, how did Jehovah drew you into the truth? So we'll start with Sister Joy.
Well, I have a curiosity for solving the world's problems. And I felt that there was some cycle. Grew up in Jersey City, New Jersey. Sounds like there's got to be someone in the world that can fix the problems in the world. If it's not in the United States, it's in China, and somewhere, someone has answers. And Jehovah made me aware, no, no one has answers. Because man cannot direct their own footsteps. So he drew me when I was in going to court reporting school. That's how he drew me. Did you want, because it is instruments, how
Yes. That's story, yes.
When I was in court reporting school, we had so many different professionals from the defense attorney side, from the prosecuting attorney side, from different court stenographers, was telling us how, instructing the class on how the world was going to be when they get into the field of court reporting.
So Sister Joanne is working in the judiciary legal system, right?
Not now.
Not before, when you,
Before
you came to
right, before.
Yes, okay.
So, in my mind, with all these different ones coming to instruct our class on what our experience is going to be. So in my radical mind, I'm just like, none of you all look like me. So I don't understand how you can tell me how my world is going to be. So I started to seek out someone that was similar, that looked like me, that was a woman who could tell me how really my experience is going to be. And this person turned out to be one of Jehovah's Witnesses. She was able to explain to me that, the world of court reporting is a wonderful, lucrative field, but it's not God. God's name is Jehovah. And that's who you should pursue. That's who you should have all your hopes and dreams to. And I'm like, okay, so she invited me to the Kingdom Hall after, about half an hour of discussion. And I was just like, okay, in my mind, I was going to the Kingdom Hall because she was nice enough to instruct me about my world of court reporting in school. So for me, when I went to the Kingdom Hall, it was just like, let me pay this gift because I have this payment on my mind that I owe her, So I'm like, let me go to the Kingdom Hall and get rid of this girl, So I went to the Kingdom Hall and then, just like, okay, I think at the time they were talking about Melchizedek in a tree, and I'm like, oh, I need to get out of here, So anyway, she had asked me for a Bible study, and I'm like, okay. Once she started to study with me, I was dating this man at the time. He was my fiance, and I had told him about Jehovah's Witnesses. What do you think if I studied with Jehovah's Witnesses?
Let him answer that. What did you tell Sister Joanne then?
Well, since we were engaged, I said, well, I really didn't know who Jehovah's Witnesses were. And I said, I'll tell you what, to get it out of your conscience, you go to the Kingdom Hall. That's all right with me. But I let her tell you the rest.
Okay.
Little did he know all the changes that was coming. And then, to be introduced to Psalms 8-18, and I grew up in the church. I grew up as a Methodist in the church. I mean, irregardless if the snow was up to here, we went to church at the Pastor King. We were very involved in the church, but they never taught me Jehovah's name, and I was just like, that's not right, So knowing Jehovah's name turned me around totally. And I'm like, okay, God has a name. I have to get to know this God. And once I got to know this God, I'm like, wow. After 1 month of studying, I was introduced to Matthew 24:14. And my Bible study conductor at the time, she was also a court stenographer. And so she was explaining Matthew. I had asked a question about it. She started to explain to me that, Jehovah's Witnesses, they go from door to door and they teach. And that's what I'm doing with you right now. So at the time that she told me that, I'm like, well, I can't go out this week, but I can go the next week. So she told me it's not that easy.
Okay.
That I had to go before a brother to ask his permission. This was back in 1975, 76. And there were changes that, because Nelson and I, he was my fiance at the time, so of course we were very, very close. Doing things of the world, a lot of things. And so once I knew that Jehovah, these things weren't pleasing to Jehovah, smoking pot and drugs and fornicating and different things like that. All those things had to stop, and my poor friend here didn't know that, it was just like, no. Jehovah doesn't like that, we can't do that. You know, so anyway, the brother had, when I went to ask this brother, can I go out and field service, he was very concerned about my relationship with Nelson, because he was saying that you have to have a clean relationship before you go out and field service. And he was concerned about, you know, how clean our relationship was. So I just told him, you know, we used to fornicate, we don't fornicate anymore, so it's okay. So he's all right if we go out and field service. He was a little bit embarrassed. I guess he didn't know that I was going to come like that, but he wanted to know, so I told him. And so I started studying and going out and field service after 1 month of studying, because this
After
was
1 month?
after
That's
1
fast.
month of studying, yes, you know, and I was just like, well, Jehovah says we gotta do it, so we gotta do it, you know, so, all the changes in developing a strong relationship with Jehovah, you know, was really, really my prime concern. Poor guy, you know, poor guy, but, you know, it is what it is. So
So
that's how I
you accept all the changes that happened.
Well, it wasn't that easy. With me, I wasn't really so religious minded. The hardest thing about this experience that I had is that we were engaged to get married. And I noticed that as time went by, she would talk about it. Usually we were talking about, well, how we're going to have a wedding, you know, where we're going to live at, you know, or what kind of future. But she used to work in the World Trade Center. She used to work on the 56th floor of the World Trade Center when we were dating. When she graduated from Corby Boiler School, I used to go over there. Anyway, as she was going to the Kingdom Hall, I noticed that she didn't talk anymore about that. I really thought that she might have met somebody in the Kingdom Hall and lost interest. So I kept telling her, listen, Joanne, if it's someone that you met in that building called the Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses, let me know. I'll go on with my life. And no, you don't understand that if you start going to meetings, you don't understand what I'm saying. Oh, meetings. If you want to go to meetings, you can go on. But I'm going my way. Because, you know, I mean, you're the one that drew away from me. I didn't draw away from you. You know, even though I was wrong about a lot of things and everything. But you know, one of the things that helped me, even though I opposed the truth at the time, is that when she got baptized, I went to the baptism not too far away from Patterson, in Monroe, New York. And she got baptized in Monroe, New York. And when I went there, the brother gave such a nice talk that I loved the talk that brother gave. But I didn't tell her that.
You kept it secret.
I kept it secret. And I enjoyed that talk so much. And this is a good experience for especially sisters. A man that may have a lot of pride, even though you found the truth, is not going to tell you. But what I did is that Joanne lived in Jersey, over there by Stanley Dale, and I lived in the Bronx at the time. What I did is I never told her. I mean, you're talking about a period of 1 year of persecution. Because here we were supposed to get married, and we were already in love, and we already was planning to.
But then the changes are coming along.
The change came. What I did is I went to the meeting in the Bronx and never told her.
And you didn't told her you went to the Kingdom Hall.
I went to the Kingdom
In the
Hall
Bronx.
in the Bronx
Okay.
and never told her. And the reason why I went to the meeting is to find something against Jehovah's Witnesses, and now I can come back at her.
Okay. On your own.
Yeah, it says you were wrong. Now my conscience is clear. The decision you made was a wrong decision. So I studied for 3 months without telling her.
Oh, you were already studying, huh?
I was studying, going to the Kingdom Hall.
Behind her back?
Behind her back. Didn't tell her anything. Didn't tell her anything. I just went to the meetings for a while, and I started enjoying the meetings. I still didn't want to tell her.
Okay.
I wanted her to give in. You know, and, you know, I always encourage people that a man is not going to admit you found the truth right up front. And I didn't want to come in the truth because of her. I wanted to make the truth my own. And that's the reason why I studied without.
So how did you break it?
Well, I couldn't hold it in anymore. After studying for about 3 months, I called her up one time and I told her, Joanne, the decision that you made was was the right decision, and I'm glad you stuck to it. I'm sorry for a whole year. I made it hard for you. And I've been studying for 3 months. When she heard that, let's not get married. Let me get acquainted with this organization. Where do I fit in the organization? What does it mean to be a husband in the truth? And then we'll decide when we're going to get married. And that's what we did. And stay away from each other. Only see each other like one day during the week, which is on Sundays. Until, you know, as time went by, I studied for about 10 months. And after 10 months, I got baptized September 13, 1977. And we got married like a month after. That's 2 years of persecution. I mean, so, and that's how, and then I come from a Hispanic background. I am Spanish. Most people don't really know. My parents are from Puerto Rico. And Puerto Rican people are very close. You know, to leave my family and to come into the truth was very hard. Because I was very close to my mother and my father. And here they're telling me, well, she left you. And she got involved in Jehovah's Witnesses. Don't let her draw you away. But I was in love.
That's a very encouraging story. I'm sure you can say the same thing about blessings. So would you like to tell us about, other than your marriage, because you will be counting the answer. Other than your marriage, what other blessing did you get from Jehovah because of joining you to him?
Well, one of the things that when I was studying the persecution that I received from him, it's going to be me or Jehovah, me or Jehovah. So that was the challenge. And for me, I knew to pursue Jehovah straight, straightforward, not deviate.
So you were willing to lose him, being that point, in case he decided to go away.
Yeah, but you see, this was my first love, and it wasn't that easy. I had to wean myself off of him. I had to really, really learn to love Jehovah more. And once I loved Jehovah more and continued serving Jehovah, this was my blessing, really, because he kept saying, me or Jehovah, me and Jehovah. And in my mind, I was just like, why can't I have both? I don't see the problem with that, So Jehovah blessed me by then when I finally had said, okay, that's it. I can serve Jehovah without him. That's when he told me, I'm studying the Bible now. And I'm like, okay, great. So I was celebrating. So that was a blessing. And then, of course, this is our 36-year marriage. And, Jehovah has totally kept an umbrella over us. This was so many different things that came at us that, this is not going to work, or, especially even from my own family, because he's Puerto Rican and I'm African American, it's just like, no. You need to stick to your own kind, So, yeah, the blessing is him.
So I'm sure everybody will agree there's a consistent pattern here, that the more you're willing to give up something for Jehovah, then Jehovah returns the same thing back to you. In this case, he was willing to lose Brother Nelson for Jehovah, but in the end, Jehovah drove Nelson back to her. Isn't that a blessing? Thank you very much.
We came from Mount Vernon, Washington State, in the USA, and I was baptized in 1965, so it's been a while. And I've regular auxiliary, and George is regular pioneer, and an elder there.
So, Brother George, how long have you been in the truth? And your service assignment?
What was the question again?
I don't know how much knows I remember.
Yeah, I'm kind of mobile, can tell you.
Where you are in your assignment, congregation, service?
I'm in the Philippines.
No, where you were.
Oh,
Must be better now.
A congregation, your congregation where you came from?
Okay. We're in Washington State. It goes California, Oregon, Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I say I'm from Washington. People say, "Oh, you're from Washington D.C."
No,
But
not the DC.
no.
Not the state.
Yeah. Thank you. He's confusing me.
So for the brothers in the Philippines who doesn't know the geography of the U.S., it's on the west.
The West Coast.
The west coast.
Yes, we're in the Mount Vernon congregation. I'm an elder there. I think Jody already said all that. And we just work there.
How long have you been in the truth, brother?
Well, let's see. I'm not real good at math. Actually, I'm not really good at anything, but let's see. I got baptized in 1978. So do the math. How long is that? 35 years. I got it.
Thank you very much. Now let me ask you too, the same questions we asked them. How did Jehovah do you to him? Let's start with Mr. Jody. I think
Just loved it. And so my mother also received a lot of persecution from my father. But I was my mom's sidekick, helper. And then I had a lot of good influence in the congregation, good friends that helped me stay in the truth and to pioneer.
Good, that's good time. How about Brother George?
Well, I was actually going to another church, and this real cute witness girl came to my door.
You remember that?
I'm over here. No, it wasn't her. No, that was another cute girl. So anyway, yeah. So this girl came to the door, and I liked the Bible. I read the Bible. I went to another church, Assembly of God Church, and I did enjoy reading the Bible. And I remember after that witness girl sister, she placed magazines with me, or it's been so long ago now, it's hard to remember it all, But I remember telling my mom. I lived at home at the time. I told my mom that after she left, she asked if I wanted to study the Bible eventually. She called on me, made return visits on me several times, and then she asked, "Hey, would you like to study the Bible?" And I told her, sure, I would do that. And then after she left, I remember turning to my mom and telling her, I read the Bible, I'll show her a thing or two.
What happened?
She showed me a thing or two.
Okay. So everything she told her leads to this is the truth. That's history. After that.
Well, I'm kind of slow. So it took me a long time to study. I went through like 2.5 books. It was a truth book a long time ago. Probably most of these young people here don't even know what the truth book is. It's a little blue book.
I grew up in the truth book.
Yeah, well, a lot of, so yeah. So it took me a long time to make changes because, well, I was in the world and I did some of the things that the world did, and I found them really hard to give up,
So that's your challenge?
Yeah, one of the many.
Okay. So what motivated you to overcome all of those habits that you already have in the world?
Well, apparently it was Jehovah because it took me a long time to get rid of some of those ingrained worldly habits because I was in my 20s when I learned the truth, and I was wild and crazy, and I needed to unwild and uncrazy, right? So and then I think the more that you study, the more you learn about Jehovah. And I think it's the friends that are really the good example. Like we have all the friends here gathered today, and this is fun, and we enjoy each other's company. And I think eventually going to the Kingdom Hall, making new friends, it was a real slow process. What happened was Jehovah had mercy on my wicked soul.
That's very good. A lot of people read characters. Some of them will take a long time to get the truth. They love it, but they don't have enough force right now or motivation to jump over and cross the line. But that was a good experience to hear that someday they'll be able to do that. Just have enough love for Jehovah. How about Mr. Joey? What has been your biggest challenge?
Well, I have problems with depression and anxiety. And so that's been hard for me, but I keep busy. George is a good help. Jehovah is an awesome help. And to keep busy in the truth. there's lots to do.
And what has been your blessings being here at Jehovah's organization, having him as God?
Well, I have a hope. You know, I think about the people in the world who have no hope. They have depression, they have anxiety, but they don't have an answer, and we do. And we have. I have my husband and I have been able to pioneer together, come here together. All those things are blessings.
You know, Sister Joey, there are some sisters and brothers who can relate here because they also have depression. We're helping them cope with it and hope. What you said, that's a very powerful thing. Without that, there's nothing to claim on to carry on. So what you said is a powerful statement. How about what you
So we're talking about the blessings.
blessings, yes.
Getting to know you. Well, actually, I think, you know, in the truth, let's be honest. Once you become strong in the truth, there's a million blessings.
Correct.
And one of the greater blessings that besides the paradise, right? That's a given. Like in 1990, we went to Brazil to an international convention, and now this year we get to go to the Philippines and we get to meet all you brothers and sisters here. These are probably one of the coolest experiences that you could ever have. It's just coming here and being with you brothers and sisters. Because I've never been to the Philippines before, and we were driving in a car on these roads today and scared me to death.
Exactly.
There was people walking and motorcycles and those little carts running around, you know, and we don't have this in the States. I mean, you know, in the States we don't have all these things going around, you know, I'm thinking, are we going to get here in one piece or what? I mean, we're going to run somebody over. So, I tell you what, I went in service this morning, and I love the service because there's people everywhere, and I can approach people on the streets and talk with them. And it does seem like that if I can use it this way, the Filipino race, or the Filipinos, not me, sorry. But it seems like the Filipinos seem to be very friendly. Even the people I talk to on the street that are not Jehovah's Witnesses, they just, you know, they're almost nice to me. And I like that, right? Because back in where I come from in Washington State, people there are just kind of grumpy, you know, they're just grumpy. But here I say hi to people and they'll say hi back to you. And the Filipinos seem to be a little more respectful. In the United States, we don't care. We just run over people, you know, that's the way it is.
Thank you very much for your experience. Yeah. What congregation you came from and how long you been with you?
I'm in the North Atlanta American Sign Congregation, and I've been in for 22 years. I was baptized when I was 10.
22 years.
I go to the South Atlanta Portuguese congregation, and I got baptized when I was 11, which was 30 years ago.
Okay. You both from Portuguese congregation?
I'm in South Atlanta.
Sign congregation. You're in Portuguese.
And I'm in the North Atlanta Sign Language congregation, same as Jill. And I got baptized when I was 10 in 1974, same as you.
No, I was baptized 74 years. She was 10, I was 13. But the youngest baptized, what was your year? He's 10 as well. Let's go to the next set of questions. First one is, how did Jehovah drew you to Him? What's the special story there?
Both my parents are Jehovah's Witnesses, so I grew up in the truth. I said both of my parents. Both of my parents are Jehovah's Witnesses.
Oh, you had the blessing of having parents? That's a good thing. story?
Same story.
Same
Same story.
And there are many here who can relate. There are many of us who are third generation Jehovah's Witnesses. When the work got organized here during the Japanese occupation in 1940s, the first set of witnesses, they got third generation all the way to 2000 era. So just like you. How about your parents? Were your grandparents also Jehovah's Witnesses? They're the first one. Your parents are the first Jehovah's Witnesses.
My grandmother, she became Jehovah's Witness.
Not
She
later.
actually one of my uncles that and my grandfather.
And my parents were first, my mother was first, and she came into the truth. She was pregnant with 5 children. My father wasn't a witness yet.
Okay.
But the brothers, Brother Gallagher, the Delegate in our congregation, they encouraged my father-in-law with my mother, and then he became a witness also.
Oh, that's very good to hear. Now, what would you count as the greatest challenge you experienced growing up as a child in a Jehovah's Witness family? Some of them, some of those kids, feel that they're missing something, so they go out sometimes into the world and taste it before they come back and decide that this is where they want to be. But you got baptized very young and you're still around in God's organization. How did you manage to stay around? That's a good question to like to hear. As many young people here are figuring that out, whether they would like to stay here in God's organization, continue serving. How about you?
I think the hardest part was finding good association because it was the others that was in the congregation. Their parents were businesses, but they didn't take.
Bring it closer to the mic. Bring it back. Yeah.
I think my greatest challenge with that was finding good association because a lot of the other kids that was in the congregation, their parents were Jehovah's Witnesses, but they didn't take the truth seriously, so that was hard to have good association. But for myself to stay in, I had to make sure I was doing my own personal studies, so I could make the truth my own and not just be my parents'
So that's nice to hear. Despite not finding a lot of good association, your faith is strong enough to make you decide this is the right thing. I will stay here. And you chose to be the sign language. When did you enroll in the sign language?
This is my 5th year.
Your 5th year. Very nice to hear.
I think that what helped me a lot was that, well, I'm the youngest of 5, so all my brothers and sisters were already doing really well, but my parents made sure we had fun. Going to field service was fun. They always had things for us to do, recreation. There were always gatherings, get-togethers, so I never felt like I missed out on anything. So although kids would come to school and say they had parties, I didn't care. We had a gathering over the weekend. The kids said they were going someplace. We went on vacation. We went to conventions in different states. So I never felt like I was missing out. My parents did a really good job in Jesus.
I think there's a message there for all the parents here in our congregation. How about you, Michelle?
I think being the oldest, the challenge was like jail association. Some of the people in our congregation, they didn't necessarily want to be witnesses. So when I was in school, being baptized so young, they would sometimes tease me, they'd beat me up a little bit because I was a witness. But the thing that helped out was my parents always had open communication to tell them what was going on. Again, they always had excellent examples over to the house. So the Bethelites were always there, and like I said, Brother Gallagher, Michelle, they were in our hall, and they would, they'd talk with us and encourage us, and those kind of examples really helped us to stay strong in the truth.
That's very good to hear. How about your blessing? What blessings do you count now? Having signed the sign line, volunteer with the sign language congregation, and it's a new territory as well.
Yes, I've really been enjoying the sign language congregation, learning language, learning a different culture, and I really enjoyed that. Also, I feel like my biggest blessing is I'm alive.
Yes,
The
definitely.
kids I went to school with, and even some of the ones that were, like I said, grew up in the hall, but didn't really take it seriously. A lot of them are dead. Some of them
Dead?
are in jail. Some of them ended up pregnant and not married. So I'm thankful to the whole one to have a good life.
Yeah.
Some of my blessings have been, I've been able to go to different international conventions. I went to Italy
going in so many international assemblies, Sister Michelle?
One of the blessings, we lost our parents, both our mother and our father passed away, so we have the blessing of being able to see them again and tell them some of the things we've been doing, like being in sign language, like Yvonne mentioned, going to different international conventions, being here with you. This is a big blessing. Everybody's so friendly. I met Michelle's and the twins and everybody, and it makes you feel very warm inside. Everybody's very loving. We have field service together and learning the language, learning how to speak to the people in the ministry. This has been a great, great blessing for us.
Thank you very much. Please, where did Indonesia come from, your congregation, and how long you've been in the truth?
I'm from the Kebayoran Utara congregation in south of Jakarta.
South of Jakarta?
Yeah.
Are you outside the city or inside the city?
Inside the city.
Inside the city.
And then I get baptized in 2002. And then
You're 12 years old now. In the truth.
and I know I learned about the truth from my friend.
From a friend?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Because we were going we're the same class in the course.
Okay.
So
Is that high school or college?
not high school, course.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did she introduce it? She or he? The
She.
friend. She. How did she introduce the truth to you?
She just asked me, what is your religion? And then I said, I'm a Catholic. And then,
You're a Catholic.
yeah, and then I asked her, what about you? I'm Christian. What is a Christian? Just as Christian, because in 1998, yeah, in Indonesia, Jehovah Witnesses was banned.
So she didn't say I'm a Jehovah's Witness. Just a Christian.
Just a Christian.
So how did you find that this is the truth?
Sorry.
How did you recognize that what she teaches you is the truth?
When she talked about the truth, about the Bible, and then she talked about the, many things, yeah.
What do you remember important that she tell you about the Bible?
I remember the one verse from Isaiah,
Isaiah?
18, Isaiah 1, chapter 1, and verse 18. It makes me touch, so that's why I want to learn more about Jehovah.
Because Jehovah there is a forgiving God.
Yes.
He is willing
Yes.
to forgive us. That touched you.
Yeah.
Well, what are the challenges you have or difficulty? Because in Indonesia, being a Christian is not that popular, and especially Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yes.
So, what were the challenges in Indonesia?
The challenging is from my family.
Your family.
Yeah, because I'm alone in the truth, and then they oppose me. So for 5 years we can talk each other.
You don't talk.
Yeah, because I choose for the truth.
But you stay in the same home.
No, I live alone.
So you live separately.
Yeah, separate.
Okay. So that must be difficult because you miss your family. And how did you manage being away with your family? What helped you survive being away from them?
I have brothers and sisters in the congregation. I have close friends. They help me to survive in the truth.
So how about blessings? What can you say is one of the best blessings you ever received from Jehovah?
The best blessing is the international brotherhood, and then I feel I have a big family in the world. And then when I was feel lonely, I just think Jehovah always give me. Sorry.
What did Jehovah give you? Any blessings?
Many blessings.
So this is, you count this as one of your blessings.
Yes.
And being a Jehovah's Witness in Indonesia is a difficult thing. It's not easy because many of them are Muslims.
Yes.
They are in minority. We were banned in that country for a while. So you're looking at a sister who's been around for more than 10 years, who stayed there despite that environment. Thank you very much, sister.